Hello. April
Hello.
5th, 2020. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
So this is
Good.
I guess this is just the new norm. Like
The new Norm
this
McDonald.
this week this week not a lot of like new, like we're past the point of like all the crazy or drastic or dramatic headlines. Now it's just this is the new norm.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I mean, I saw some headlines where like these next 2 weeks are going to be, murder, death
Well,
tolls are going
yeah,
to skyrocket. Yeah,
right. But I mean, besides just numbers are going up and up and up and up, and we're going to hit the peak here in the next 2 weeks, 2 to 4
yeah.
weeks.
2 weeks we're going to peak like me when I was 14. 2 weeks
Or it's just we're just used to the bad news and like,
desensitized,
yeah,
desensitized like someone who has problems not lasting long in bed. They need to be desensitized, right?
yes,
Come
just
on, I
like
wrote
that.
these jokes all week, man. Other improv, not hours of calculation. Um, I see you doing the live streams, Jerry. Are those live streams or what? You playing the guitar on
No,
Facebook?
no, they're
You're getting,
just recordings.
yeah, but you're getting in the. That's like everyone's doing that now.
Oh yeah.
People
Oh,
with musical talent, unlike me, but I could play the trombone maybe. But do you see that like holding people together, or do you? I mean, I'm not saying you are, but like, are you? Is that like I need attention? Like, look at me. Like, I don't know.
depends
You
who
know
it
what I'm
is. I mean, I'm not doing it for attention. It's
I
just
know you're not like that. You're like the opposite of
it's
that.
half and half. It's like, especially with kids, it's just you got to do something. I've seen the arguments in the communities are like, people are dying. You shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be, doing choreography with your family. Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, like we all and everybody, not kids with family or people with family, people by themselves, you can't just be sitting down being all depressed and anxious 24/7.
Oh no,
Life has to
that's
continue, and if you can't leave your house, you got to do something. Especially with you got to we're not ruining kids, but like if you just like tell kids, oh, you can't have fun. We're inside, we can't have fun because there's people dying. I mean, it's not fair to them. It's not fair to
what do you
us either. But
what do you tell your kids?
I mean, they know there's like a virus out there, and things have changed, and there's some days are worse than others, and the oldest wants to go back to school, and she doesn't understand. So it's like we're telling them, we're not like making stuff up, trying to be all rosy, but at the same time, it's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's kind of. Have you ever heard of the movie Life is Beautiful?
I think I've heard that title. I haven't seen it.
It's an Italian film, actually, like subtitles. I can't think of the guy's name. He was like a big Italian comedian, but it's the Holocaust, and he and his son are taken to an internment camp, and he basically convinces his son that it's just a game they're playing.
Hmm.
Like it's just a silly game. And it's like it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Roberto Merlini or whatever the fuck, I can't say his name. Um, but yeah, it's just a big fucking game. That's like kind of like how they got through it.
Hmm.
So I mean, you're not like making it a big game. Obviously, your kids are old. This kid was like maybe like 5. I mean, how
Oh
old are
yeah,
your kids? 5? Are they 5? Are they older than 5?
7 and 4. So yeah, one of
I
them
mean, I
is.
mean, are you like, excuse me, are you like you? So you're like honest with them. You're not like, oh, this is stay inside time, and everyone's wearing masks because there's. I mean, it
No,
was a beautiful movie, but like I don't think you can lie to kids like that these
no.
days.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
like we don't talk about like all the news, all the doom and gloom news in front of them, especially
Do
the
you watch
oldest.
Do you watch the news in front of them?
No, it's not news, but just like stuff we're seeing from our phones. Just feeds and
So you're,
articles.
yeah, I got you. So you want to hear my new conspiracy?
Yes.
So you're not on TikTok or you're not making videos on TikTok, but that's like the thing is everyone's doing videos on TikTok.
Hmm.
And I have to give credit to a teenager who rode his bike to a school shooting in Florida and then destroyed a St. Louis radio personality for saying they want to stick a poker up his ass. That's Mr. David Hogg, ladies and gentlemen. Who owns TikTok?
I don't
China.
know.
Boom. China.
Yeah.
Boom.
So you're saying that
That's
China's?
stupid, man. I'm just, I'm
I was
just, I
trying
did
to.
so we would get to TikTok. He was basically on Twitter saying, because I haven't heard from David Hogg in a long fucking time, ever since like that thing happened with Jamie Allman in St. Louis.
Hmm.
He's been quiet, but he's saying don't support TikTok because they're owned by China and they basically fucked us, and now we're like supporting
Well,
them. It's
everything's
kind
owned
of
by
weird.
everything. You mean all of our clothes are bought from China, and I mean probably
Yeah,
like
I know.
70% of the things. I know, just like it's a dumb,
It's
dumb,
just this is
dumb
it's
take.
just blowing up. It's blowing up big time though. It's weird. It is weird.
Yeah,
I mean, I just take a TikTok video today with my dog. I don't do it myself because I'm a grown man and I'm not a female. Um, I do it with my dog, but it's like they got me. They got me.
I
Like,
downloaded the app like last year sometime, and I'm like, this is this. I'm too old for this.
it's for like preteen girls, like your
Not
daughters.
anymore. I mean, when I was on it, it was, but now it's like older people and brands
Yeah,
and
lost people who shouldn't be
yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
Look, I'm cool. I'm still hip. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't know.
TikTok's blowing up. The people streaming. I mean, I've done some Facebook Live videos and I got a couple views. It's just yeah, it's nice to have this outlet, isn't it? The internet, kind of. It's nice and it's not nice, but it's nice to. I don't know. It's nice to talk to people and shit. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
I
It's.
mean,
I heard on some podcast, some news outlet, that they created like a quarantine chat to where you can actually through the app call just strangers just to talk. Like if you're lonely and need someone to talk to, and not like it's not like advertised as like a creepy, dating thing. It's just, hey, if you're quarantined, you want someone to talk to, here it is. Here's use this.
yeah, because imagine like being alone.
Yeah,
I mean, it might actually be kind of awesome, actually.
well, I'm feeling that. Yeah, after with a family and all the time, I feel that. But after a couple hours, I'll be like, okay, ready for you to come back.
You got to survive, though. I mean, you're not going to survive if you start like losing it and going, I hate this. Like, you just got to remember, like, man, at least I'm not homeless. At least I'm not living in some psycho abusive environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At least
Oh
I
yeah.
got like, internet streaming. I could get food. I got food. I mean, they got Instacart shit to deliver stuff. I don't know if they got that by you. I'm not sure if they even got that by me.
I think they do.
Close to St. Louis. I think they will eventually.
I think it's ridiculous.
So
No, they do because okay, that's how they get you to sign up. Okay, you type in your zip code, and it's like, yes,
yeah,
it's available, but it doesn't say which stores, and they won't tell you until
yeah.
you sign up. It's like, okay, like
Do you already give your information?
I'm sure
Like
you got
your
to give some
like
sort of credit card. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't
Maybe
know.
not. I don't know. Maybe you pay. I don't know.
I know Schnucks in St. Louis is limiting the amount of people that could come in.
Yeah,
I know
that is a new wave of news from I've seen it from all the stores. It's not just they're limiting one person per family. It's like they're going to start limiting the number of people that it can be in at once.
that's
So
gonna suck.
yes, I saw it yesterday. I was driving around. We actually ran some errands yesterday, but to people and staying, not going inside. But
You see like a big crowd of people outside waiting?
we passed an Aldi. Now, this is in the city. Passed an
Yeah.
Aldi, and there was a giant line just waiting to get in. It's like,
Ooh.
ooh, God. So I don't know how that's going to affect out here. All here in the boonies.
Unfortunately, we're not out there enough. I wish we were more out there
Yeah, we're
now.
not out there in the boonies. There's
We're too close.
we can feel and see some light.
Well, I'm just saying, like, all the times I'm like, man, I wish I lived in the city. I hate being in Illinois and having to go into the city all the time. It's like, man, I wish I was in the middle of nowhere.
Bro,
I
right
mean,
right now,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like where we're at is pretty good. Like
Well, you don't want to be isolated, but you don't want to be in like in a fucking urban cesspool either,
no, no,
though.
no. Yeah, exactly. I feel like we're in the happy medium of all that.
That's what we are. Did you
Like,
see? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, if shit gets bad, where there's like a lot of riots and a lot of
We're
crime.
far away. We're
Yeah, I
farther
wouldn't
enough.
say we're not like completely isolated to where like if you see like no one's gonna want to come to us anyway. Like if you're, I just picture like a house like on land. No one's gonna drive out to somewhere to break into that house. And even if they do, you'll see them coming with your shotgun because
Plus, God
everybody who
bless
lives
them.
on land like that has a shotgun.
Oh, they got an arsenal. They got like
Exactly.
AK-57s, AK-50, AR-15s. I'm sounding like Joe Biden. Uh, Plus, God bless them. And I'm not being anti-police, but my town's police force is very vicious. So they know who lives here and who doesn't. And they see some Missouri plates coming in here, and if there is that kind of behavior going on, you're going to get probably a bat to the head. So,
An old good old bat to the noggin. That makes me. I'm looking into those video camera doorbells. As much as I was against those,
why were you
um,
against them?
I just think I think all that technology is useless.
Yeah,
Like the Google Minis and all that. It's just like
I
it's just laziness.
I wanted to get a camera to watch my dog, but then I saw something where people were like hacking into the
That's
camera
what
and
I
like
mean. Yeah,
talking to kids and shit. It's like,
yeah.
fuck that. Fuck that creepy shit. They can like look at your house from a fucking remote place. That's like some horror film for me.
But at the same
Ooh,
time, it's like if the camera is just on the doorknob, you can't see. What can it see? You
I
can
meant
see
like
like it
watching your
pointing.
dog or
Right,
kids.
right.
Like
Yeah, if you keep them
I didn't mean like
inside.
yeah.
Yeah, if you keep them inside, that's yeah. Forget that. But like the ones that are like on, where your doorbell is, like all you can see, like from our house, like all you can see is the street. You can't see my house.
Seems like the purge kind of stuff. We got to have cameras all over your house. Some siren goes off because the UPS guy's walking up.
Yeah,
You
or just
gotta
at
come
least
out with
like I kind of want to buy just like a one that doesn't work. Just put it up. It's almost like the ADT sign. It's like,
here's a
I
fun.
don't have ADT. I just have the sign in the front yard.
You just how much for the sign, sir?
Yeah,
Can I just buy the sign from you?
that's
Fun
$100 a
fact.
month.
Fun fact is a lot of cameras at gas stations don't really work if you're looking to shoplift right now. Just saying.
Oh,
Our listeners are not thieves, but you never know.
never know. But yeah, it's just another week of no news, but no to good news.
Well, what about masks? They said, don't wear a mask, you stupid moron. Leave the mask for the essential employees, you stupid stunads. And then it's like, hey, you go outside? Make sure you have a mask on now, okay? It's like, what changed?
Well, I think
You-
they're saying like the cloth, like make your own.
A bandana
They
like a
don't
robber?
really do much anyway. But yeah, it's like wear a mask, but don't wear the good mask. Don't wear the masks that work.
Are you
The
essential? Okay, you're not? Here's a shitty mask. You're essential? Here's a good mask.
You're expendable. Here you go. Make your own.
But how about the essential employees, though? Like, how about them? Like, can you imagine like how much it would suck? Not only do you have to go to work during this horrible time, but everyone else is off and everything's closed. Yeah, essential. And there's people that are essential that aren't just like nurses in grocery stores. There's like places that are essential that you'd be like, really? But I mean, that was kind of the joke. Non-essential doesn't mean everything's closed. There's a lot more things that are essential that you wouldn't think would be essential, and I feel sorry for those people. I really do.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're getting paid. They got work.
Yeah, and they get a $1,200 check too if they're under 75K a year, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then at the same time, like a lot of those places, like you said, the ones like that aren't nurses and grocery store workers, or even grocery store workers, like they're talking about like going on strikes.
yeah, yeah, because they're not getting paid enough. They want raises, and I understand that. I really do. I mean, I think certain companies are treating their employees well, and certain companies aren't. And I think people should remember the ones that do and the ones that don't. Like Texas Roadhouse is paying everyone's salary for a year. And don't forget Texas Roadhouse. You ever try to go there on a Friday night? It's very stressful.
Yeah.
Very stressful. But I mean, and then you got other companies that are like, sorry, you're fucked. I'm not gonna. Don't forget that company. Don't forget that piece of shit who wouldn't take care of their people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, I don't know if people have the luxury to job hop like we thought we would after the recession, but yeah, your company's treating you like shit. Once this passes over, move the fuck on. Because it really shows someone's true colors. They're not giving you a raise. They're still making you come in. You're working double hours. Forget it. I mean, get through this the best you can, and then go to like not Texas Roadhouse unless you like working food, but a company that like cares, that knows that like employees do matter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of people getting treated like shit during this. It's almost like they don't even think there's a pandemic going on. It's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you see that? Well, this could be for our pop culture one, and you can cut it out if you want. But this is also essential to what's going on. Oh, so we predicted like mediums would be suffering. Did you see Entercom fucking fired a whole bunch of people
Mm-hmm.
nationwide, and they got people in St. Louis, but they won't announce who they are right now. Not that I'm like, ooh, I want to know, ha ha ha. It's just like it's begun. It's begun. And that you could say, hey Matt, save that for the pop culture one, but it's also ours because well, everything's ours, I guess, or yours. But it's our world is changing.
Yeah.
Our world is changing because like it's never going to go back to being the way it was now. I was talking to a guy I used to work with a while ago, and it's like, yeah, once they have us in our homes, we're never going to come back. We're never going to come back. So they fired a shitload of people from Entercom, and then if you make over 50 grand, you got to take a 20 to 30% pay cut, which you go boo hoo, you know, boo hoo. You still get your job and you still get paid, but it's also like you're over a fucking barrel. Like, what are you going to do, bitch boy? Like, what are you going to do? You going to quit? I mean,
Yeah, for radio, like, because it was already teetering on going to all digital anyway, or just programmed, kind of like what iHeart does.
yeah, I mean, so iHeart's done it, Entercom's done it. I have Word. I mean, and I'm not like the inside man or anything. I just know people that still do it. And Word is Cumulus is another one that's going to do it, where it's just going to be like no one's there except the main people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
It's almost like the ones, and we've discussed before, the people who are like the quote unquote like faces of the shows,
yeah,
the celebrities of the shows, or the
like
station, I should say.
the morning shows will stay.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
and then
know. Like, I was thinking that too. Like, how can, so the number one morning show in St. Louis, they have like 5 people. Do you think
well,
that the
are
station's
they
gonna keep paying them? Because
time?
they all have to be on salary.
I'm not being a dick, but they're not number one in St. Louis. They're number one maybe in the male demographic, 18 to 34.
Who's number one in St. Louis then?
Like hands down,
Yeah.
probably like KMOX or like one of the old like bigger stations.
No
They
way.
only they only appeal to males 18 to 34, 18 to 49, and they're number one in that demographic. They may test higher in females, but I've looked at the numbers several times. I doubt they're hands down number one.
I'm gonna
I
look it up
guarantee you.
on Google.
I bet Z1077 does better than them. Like as a station, as a whole station in general, as a genre.
Hmm. Anyway,
Anyway, people of that ilk though will. I mean, Howard Stern's not going in. He's doing it from his home. Now he's in New York, but if Howard Stern's not going in, then why should somebody making 60 grand who's a popular morning show host go in? Right?
right.
I mean, it's just Zoom is like taking over, man. Like everything's Zoom, 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 Zoom. Like I'm doing classes on Zoom.
Who owns Zoom? That was my conspiracy theory that the people of
China?
Zoom released this.
Is it China?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know they got busted, like all these other companies do, for having ties to selling your stuff online, or not selling, but like having security issues with Facebook or something.
Have you used Zoom yet?
I have, but just from this, I never even heard of it before this happened.
I've used it for school, and yeah, and that's probably it. I know people are doing shows on Zoom and stuff.
Yeah, I thought about using it for this podcast, but I don't like. I don't know. I don't like being looked at while I do this.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel weird. So,
Why?
you don't want me looking at you? Oh, you mean like as a
No,
show
like as a
show?
show. Yeah, as a show.
I don't know. You should think about it.
All right, we'll
Maybe
think.
next time.
All right. It would make my
So,
life easier because all I have to do is just record it and then just be done with it. But then it wouldn't
yeah,
be audio.
we could do maybe one
I guess I
thing
could
like
always
that.
export it. But then don't you have to pay for it? Because you have
I
like
don't know.
you have a limit. Anyway,
We'll look into
post
it.
show. This is a post show conversation.
Yeah,
What were we
save
talking
it for
about?
the
Radio. Yeah, like you think
just.
I was just for example. So the morning show, they have like any morning show that has five. The Woody show has like five people. Like you think they're going to keep paying five people or more on a single show whenever the economy's in the.
Woody, yes, because he's nationally syndicated.
But all of his team. That's what I'm saying. All of his team.
Depends on.
All
I
800
don't.
of them. They're in the studio with him.
I'm not the coked up executive who's calling the shots. I mean, I mean, Howard has like an expensive show. Robin, Fred, Gary, they all make a lot of money. And what I saw is they're all like on Zoom. I mean, from their houses. I mean, I could see them getting rid of certain people. Yeah, that happens all the time. Actually, when they got to tighten the belt, they'll kill a cast member off,
Just
kill them
everything's
off.
yeah. Everything's just going to be stripped down to its minimum.
Like I can see the morning show with the five people, maybe being two people, with like one person like running the board, chiming in. I mean, it just depends on who's essential. I hate to keep using that word, but there's like maybe a couple really essential people from each show that
Mm-hmm.
ever existed, and then the rest like are interchangeable. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd say maybe two or three on every show. I mean, think about it, Howard Stern. You need Robin. You may hate Robin, but without Robin, Howard wouldn't be Howard. And then you need Fred, and then you need Gary, and then everyone else is pretty much interchangeable. And they have been interchangeable. So, but no, I don't know. And then like with the TV shows, you said, and I haven't paid attention. They're doing live streams from their houses, like Jimmy Kimmel is,
Mm-hmm.
and Jimmy Fallon is.
What about it?
They're doing like Skype,
Yeah,
Zoom shows.
I think
Have,
Conan's is pretty funny.
I was gonna say, like, have you watched it? Does it work?
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
mean, I just like anything. I don't. I know. I watch like clips. I don't sit down for like a whole half an hour and watch the whole show.
No one
But
does, and
I
that's Conan's
like.
problem. Is
But
no one
I
does.
like Conan. Like I like Conan's sense of humor no matter what he does. Like his podcast, I just like. So what I did see was pretty funny.
But is it like he does a monologue and then he has some guest on Skype or something?
No, he doesn't do like a monologue. Well, I only seen one episode where we was just setting it up. Like
Well,
it was the first show, and it was like a really just Conan's self depreciating humor anyway.
I know though, like this might be Conan's alley because he's more successful on digital than he is on actual TV.
Right.
So this might be right up his alley. That might help him get an edge over those other fuckers.
But like when there's contracts in place, like you think these stations are going to be breaking contracts?
But it just depends on how you negotiated. Um, because I mean, when you have a contract situation and you terminate somebody, you either pay them out of their contract, which wouldn't be their full contract, but a big sum of money, or they just sit on the sideline until their contract's up. Now, usually when they do that, it's because of some sort of misbehavior or some
Mm-hmm.
sort of internal struggle.
Mm-hmm.
There's several guys who are like, you're fired, but you're under contract, so you can't work anywhere else. So you just sit at home and get paid, which is nice, but your career is like being ruined because you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably choose to sit at home and get paid. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
And then come back when it's over. But I mean, I know Cumulus isn't doing contracts right now. They suspended contracts a few years ago. So everyone is as an at-will employee, even if you're like big shot morning guy. So easy to get rid of.
Well, when we'll just tie it back to everything. I feel like almost anybody, unless you're, work in the medical field or grocery store worker or someone who works at an Amazon type like warehouse, like
And it, they've
anybody can be expendable at this point.
they've had fucking breakouts at the Amazon places, dude. You
Right.
seen that?
Yeah. I'm just saying like in terms of businesses that are booming. I'm just saying those are the businesses that are booming or not boom, what I'm saying, like high demand.
Yeah.
But anybody else, like any business can fail who like makes money.
Yeah.
Or not, I shouldn't say fail, but there could be, cutbacks. Like anybody is expendable at this point.
Well, we were already going through a change with like the way media was consumed, and it just seemed like it would just like push it over the cliff there.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you had podcasts, you had streaming. I mean, you had Twitch, you had all this shit, and now it's like, oh yeah, and I mean, shit, just the advertising. I mean, that was the excuse they used was advertising's down, which I do believe, and I know someone who's saying like they're cutting deals left and right just to keep people, but say they do come back from this. Do you think they're going to hire those people back? No, they're going to keep it the way it is. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Until a point, unless there's like huge amount of business where they need all those people.
Because you could go, oh yeah, because you could go, oh, it's so sad they can't afford anybody. It's like, well, now they can, but they know they can get by without it, so more money that way. That's what's really evil. It's not like, oh, there's a pandemic and no one's advertising. TV, radio, newspaper. I mean, Riverfront Times is being disbanded. Everyone's getting fired. But then say Riverfront Times comes back, and I don't know. I'm just using them as an example. Will they hire everyone back again when they can, or they just know we could get by with just a few people and we've proven we can?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I worked at certain radio stations in my shitty career where like a couple years before they were fully staffed, and by the time I got there it was me and another person, and that person quit, then it was just me, and then they keep saying we'll hire more people. 6 months go by, they don't hire anybody. Why? Because I'm doing it. I'm getting it done, even though like it's not that great because I'm doing everything, and you can't do everything great when you're doing everything, and I'm losing my mind. But they don't care. They don't care because then I'll leave and then they'll get somebody else. They'll get some other sucker.
Yeah.
So that's the evil of it. Is you basically take advantage of a situation. You go, oh no, coronavirus. We have to fire people. Too bad. Even though you're going to do it anyway at some point,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
This is the new norm. This is,
have you been going on
it's,
walks? What do you
yeah.
like?
Oh, yeah.
Working out? Have you been working out at all?
Yeah, trying to.
I've been trying to work out, but don't laugh. I mean,
No,
it's just to maintain sanity.
exactly. Like, we used to go to a gym, my family did, and now it's, closed. So, um, yeah, it's almost like you got to do something to not only break up the day, but, you know, take care of your body, take care of your mind.
Well, real
Um,
quick, how do you get through the day? Not that you have to tell me your schedule, but you
my
get
day
up.
hasn't changed really. Like I'm still
Is-
working. I'm working from 8:30 to 5, sometimes 6.
So you're essential.
I mean, I wouldn't call myself essential, but like my line of work has not changed. If anything, I've gotten more busy. So,
Wow.
and I worked from home before this. So nothing has really changed on my end except everybody else is home. So it makes it a little hard because I feel like I shouldn't be, in my office all day. Um, but other than that, it's been pretty much the same, if not a little more busy.
What are your kids' attitudes? Are they like this is fun or this sucks or like I like being home or what? Or like
Um, I don't know. They're not really of that age. I mean, the oldest gets a little sad at night, like when we all do, that she misses her friends and wishes school would be open. And but other than that, they're having a pretty good time.
and how's the rest of your family faring? Are they doing well?
Yeah, I mean, health wise, they're doing fine. I mean, the grandparents miss their kids, their grandkids, I should say. They don't miss us. Uh, and everybody's just trying to, I definitely saw a shift at the beginning of this week. Like before, it's like, yeah, well, half it's like, yeah, this isn't real. This will pass over. This is like when it first started, or this is blown out of proportion. And now, like every single person is just like, yep, this is it. This is the new norm. This is what we're going to be doing for the next 2 to 3 months, 1 to 2 months, 2 to 3 months, who knows? And we're just going to deal with it.
Well, what choice do you have?
Right. Well, I
I
think
mean,
before like the first week into the second week, there's a lot of like disbelief. Like, is this thing as really as bad as
there's still
people say it
disbelief.
is?
There's still people who think it's stupid. Like you see all those people that went down to fucking spring break.
Well, that was a
Like
month ago still. That's not now. I'm just
But
saying
I mean,
versus
that's still
now versus this
that's
week.
still stupid though, man. That was still stupid to do.
Totally.
And they came back and just spread it to everybody on their way back. I
But
mean,
that
that's part
was
of the
only a
problem.
week after I went to New York, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I guess
the
yeah.
coronavirus is real. But it wasn't like, according to the media. Of course, it was here, but according to the media, it's like, nothing's here yet. We're just waiting. Because I thought about, my man, New York would be. Nothing was brought up in New York. I'm like, oh, New York might be a hotbed. That's all the international travel. But oh well, we're just gonna go. And then like, not even a week later, it's like New York is the epicenter for this in the U.S. Like, oh my god.
I just saw a headline that Cuomo says there's a decline now, first decline. So that's
Oh
a good
boy,
sign.
that is a good sign. They've been saying, but nothing but it's going to get worse in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the critical point
Yeah.
is when it's really, really bad. Do you see anybody that you know? You don't have to name names, of course. Obviously, I wouldn't name names either. That are just don't give a fuck. That think it's stupid. I've talked to a few people that I'm like, wow, you're part of the problem.
Like even right now, like
Yeah,
this
even right
week.
now. Yeah,
No,
I talked to a few people that are just like, well, I'm not old, so I'm fine. I'm like, you dumb fuck. Like, get out of my face.
no.
Well,
There
not
was
in
a
my
couple
face.
people. There's a couple people. Yeah, there's a couple people before like the first week. It's like, oh, this is conspiracy to. This is all China's conspiracy to get Trump out of office or to. Like, yeah, okay, I don't think so, but whatever. And now like it's completely. Yeah, we're staying inside. We're not going anywhere. It's like, yeah. But no, I don't. I mean, a few people that say like, I think what I do is fine because they're still working, but they're in like construction, um, so they're not like you know quitting their jobs because they're still working. But no one that's like it's a conspiracy or completely blown out of proportion. Especially here, like the numbers are going up and up and up, like in our area. And maybe like a week ago, a week and a half ago, it wasn't a big deal here, but now it's here now.
Did you see that on Grand in St. Louis, they had a Chipotle that had like 20 people in it, and it like they're breaking the rules and they got in trouble.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of that going on right now. Or people, I mean, I heard of some place in Arnold that kept turning its lights on when people like the news van would leave. So like people are trying to defy orders. I mean, in California, and that's we're not in California, mind you, of course, but it's the same kind of behavior. They're shutting power off and they're shutting water off of businesses if they catch you open. I mean,
Right.
why does it got to come to that?
It's a lot of people in this country, and a lot of different mindsets, a lot of different. It's the human nature to question things, and things don't pertain to you, where you live, or your age, or your. It's always gonna be met with disbelief, especially if I'm not gonna listen to the media. It's all fake anyway, or I'm not gonna listen to the president because he's bullshit anyway, or I am gonna listen to the president because the rest of the media is bullshit. You know, there's
The pro
it's
the
hard to
problem
get everyone on the
is,
same mindset.
yeah, it's hard to get everyone on the same page, and it's hard when the media is bullshit and the president is bullshit, and then when they're actually like right, it's like, what? Wait, are you sure? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Uh, oh, here's a conspiracy. COVID-19, a manufactured virus in a Soros-owned lab to crash the economy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe I don't know. It's
Isn't
like
it?
just
But it's.
I.
I'd rather believe that than like. Honestly, that's scary. But I'd rather believe that than an epidemic we can't control. Right?
Who would want the economy to crash?
George
China.
Soros. George Soros.
But these people say Soros everything. Soros everything's tied to him, or
Right.
that you know. Like I said, it's almost like it's conspiracy there's wet dream, like we said last time. The people have been saying this for years. Oh, we're gonna go on martial law, but now this is happening. It's like, oh, this could definitely. This is definitely like what I've been preaching for years. Like now, it's all makes sense, or all it's because of this.
It's just not the time for that.
No,
Do you think our civil liberties are being trampled on?
not right now. We're not held at gunpoint to not leave our house.
If we are held at gunpoint, is it the government's fault or our fault for not listening?
I guess our fault. The government not listening to who?
Well, is it our fault for not listening to the government? And say people keeping businesses open secretly and keep going to Chipotle and doing all this shit. And I just saw like another article earlier this morning where some guy got his shit rocked because he was in a store and he was coughing on stuff on purpose. So like we can't behave, okay? But if the government does come in with the National Guard, is that warranted? Or
in some places probably.
Do we deserve, well, low economical areas? I mean, what are they supposed to do, man? If you live in a fucking project, what are you supposed to do?
Right.
Shelter in place, stay in your crack house? I mean, and those people, the poor, the economical depressed in the rural areas and inner cities, they really probably don't know what the fuck's really going on.
No. Well,
and you tell me to stay in my house, fuck you. That's probably their attitude.
Right.
You can't tell me what to do. This is America.
This is America.
And let's be honest, you got a bunch of black youths and some white cops show up and say you need to go in your house. How do you think that's going to go over?
Right.
Without any real probable cause of any crime? You think that's going to go over well? No. No, it's not.
That'll be a tune in next time type of scenario. Hopefully we don't get to that point.
When we tune in. Yeah. But real quick, fuck the governor of Missouri, Parsons.
Yeah, that.
I know you don't like the foul language so much, but man, their stay in order in place goes in effect tomorrow in Missouri, right across the river.
Better late than never.
No, that's not true. I mean, yes, better than never, but there is a point where it is too late, and it's like the point where he has like no choice. Like vote him out.
There have to be other states that aren't on lockdown either.
Well, Florida's a big problem because they let spring break go on.
I think they're all just following the numbers. Because
it seems like liberal governors versus conservative governors act differently.
Well, that big cities too. I mean, St. Louis and Kansas City versus the rest of the state, the rural part of the whole state. That's why St. Louis was locked down a lot. I mean, what was that 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago?
Like right off the bat, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense.
I don't know what's going on in Kansas City though.
I'm sure it's the same.
St. Charles County is on lockdown.
Yeah.
So, but no, Parsons is going to make it official on Monday, just in case you've been left out. I mean,
well, that just means it just means the businesses are going to close.
They should have been closed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but not like in middle of bumfuck nowhere, Missouri.
They matter, Jerry. They matter.
I know they matter, but not as. But it's just the everything's different than in a city. I'm talking like the rural, like where it's pronounced Missouri.
Oh yeah, I lived there for a while. It's horrible. Yeah, I get it. There's not that many people like all over the place to spread it. I get you.
Like 30 miles from where Ozark is supposed to take place.
Oh,
like 30 miles from there.
There's enough issues in Ozark, apparently. The COVID-19.
And that's going to be our cross promotion. Check out our Pop Culture Punch podcast this week. We'll be discussing that.
We want to punch you, but with pop culture, okay? So relax. That's all I got for this. What do you got? Anything else you want to...
That is
all right.
it. We will.
That's a wrap.
We'll be back next week with more depressing news.
Yeah.